I hope you all have an amazing year ahead of you and all the very best for the next decade. Knee pain. I've had so many emails and messages online for this knee pain since I put the last few videos up. So just to clarify a few things, the pain exists, it can exist right through here. So if the camera comes in, they can exist through here. The pain can also sit right in there. It can sit on the top. It can sit on the outside as well. But what people generally say, it feels like it's compressed, it's locked, it's not greased. And symptom-wise, every morning when you wake up, when you get up on it, wow. Or when you walk down the steps, extremely painful. When you have been sitting for a long time and then you get up, oh, the pain. The other one that's really popular is people go, when my muscles are warm. So when I'm exercising, it doesn't hurt. But then when the muscles get cold, oh, it's locked up and it's painful. I'm hobbling. If I have a really big session in the gym, the next few days I'm out of action because it's so painful. And swelling, the next one. I've had a few questions about that. The swelling can occur in this region here, through the bottom, right? It can exist right in there. It's a little pouch that sits in there anatomically. So swelling, the reason why it can swell with this knee pain is the kneecap is so compressed. Go think of it like that. Everyone can relate to that word, compressed. It's so compressed that when you're bending your knee and extending, especially with weight, your friction, you're creating friction underneath the kneecap. And because it's stuck in the wrong place, I've said, many times it's malaligned, the friction forces are up, which means you're creating more fluid, you're creating more swelling. Like think of how you create a blister. You're creating a blister, so to speak, in there, and it can be very painful and it gets very swollen. So the swelling can exist definitely. Now, generally scans, when you have investigations, people say, oh, it's okay. And a lot of people I've treated with this, they've had surgeons look at it and there's nothing wrong with your knee. It's obviously your patellofemoral alignment is not right. You need to go to your physio and get all the exercises done. But the nerve locks that exist, for the people with nerve locks, none of that works, which is very frustrating. They've been doing all the right stuff, massaging, rolling out here, strengthening this, doing the glutes, but nothing is changing. The pain can hang around for months to years. I met another lady the other day, she was up to 15 years with this pain, and she's a runner, and it changed her life completely, which is really sad for her. So obviously we're moving towards nerve locks now. This is when it gets really serious. Nerve locks that exist in here and in the nervous system, in the femoral nervous system called the deep femoral nerve, causes kneecap to lock. To finish off, how do I treat this? Well, with your massage therapist or physios, chiros, osteos, any manual therapy, they try to release the quads. Definitely recommend that. But the trick to releasing your quads is not to do it into pain. A lot of people really get in there into pain. I highly not recommend that if you have nerve locks. And if you have nerve locks because of all the symptoms I just mentioned. Nothing is working. So stretching and massaging, manual therapy, try not to do it into pain. And that's the key. The other area to really release nicely are your hamstrings and your calves. They really help take the pressure off the pain as well. But again, stretching, massaging, manual therapy, not into pain. I had a question about taping. How do I tape this thing across, all that fancy taping? Again, my recommendation, you're wasting your time. I highly recommend you not tape it because again, it just will keep grinding away in the wrong place, especially when you have nerve locks. So don't worry about taping. Focus more on stretching. Stretching frequently 4 to 6 times a day. 4 to 6 times a day for your quads, your hamstrings, and your calves, and not into pain. No more than 5 out of 10 pain, and that should help look after it. I also love the pool. If you have access to a pool, lucky you. Get in it every day and stretch in the water, waist high, deep water, and stretch in the water. That also helps the swelling and the pain as well. Of course, you need a needle treatment specifically to release the nerve locks. Obviously in Brisbane, Australia, I created that here, but if you're not, we get a lot of people calling in from overseas. My best advice to you is try and find someone who can dry needle. That's your next best option. Dry needle specific areas the way they do it, and hopefully you get lucky and they hit some of your nerve locks to release that nerve from locking this knee down. Alright, I hope that helped. If you have any questions, let me know. Until the next time, thanks for watching.